So, welcome to our discussion of Chapter 3, focused on cultural evolution, and we're in week 4. In this chapter, we'll discuss many ways that culture is developed, transmitted, achieved, and maintained. So, overriding themes, there were two of them. One was that cultural ideas and norms emerge not only to address cross-cultural issues, but are often the result of cultural learning. Another theme is that cultures change over time, and as such, our ideas and norms are fluid and dynamic. That's totally not too surprising. So let's start, as our book did, by discussing the idea of what is good and bad in terms of manners. Some manners or etiquette are derived from how we have learned to manage health issues, such as how we discreetly and healthfully blow our noses or spit or sneeze as a means to refrain from harming ourselves or others by sharing our germs. But our ideas of what is healthy is ever changing. While during the 16th century, it was deemed healthful to gas and burp as needed. In current culture, this behavior is no longer seen as healthful. In contrast, it's actually regarded as rude and crude, unless you're a little boy who likes to make fart jokes. Then it's just hilarious. In the past, people were taught to clean their plates, finish their food, but this was no longer seen as healthful. Some rules of etiquette seem to just be arbitrary, even though their history can possibly be traced to some health or functional origin. For example, why do a lot of males wear ties? Originally, they were supposed to protect our shirts, or their shirts, but as they became more ornate and expensive, they actually became as dear as the shirts they were protecting. There are also rules for what glass we drink from, where we put our knives, not only when we're eating, but when we're done, and where we even leave our napkins. Often manners and rules of etiquette are the result of cultural learning, which may differ across cultures depending on the cultural norms that regulate behavior. For example, our book mentions the Japanese norm of taking off shoes when entering a home. A lot of Alaska households hold the same somewhat traditional traditions. I've asked you, even before looking at these slides, to read two articles. One, Westerners accused of singing and dancing pornographically could face a year in jail in Cambodia. And that talks about cultural norms when you're visiting other countries. And also the 1955 Good Housewives Guide, which gives many tips on how a woman should act, at least the cultural norms at that time for women in the 50s. So I hope you enjoyed those. But one thing that's clear is that cultures change over time, some slowly, some rapidly. So think about this ever-changing digital age that we're living in. As technology changes, what is the standing etiquette around when and where to use our phones and other gadgets? This is something that was explored by the Pew Research Center in a survey conducted with over 3,000 individuals in the U.S. One aspect of the survey focused on where respondents felt it was okay to use a cell phone. What they found was most thought it was okay to use a cell phone in unavoidably public places, such as while walking down the street, on public transportation, or while waiting in a line. The majority of respondents did not think it was appropriate to use cell phones in restaurants, at family dinners, during meetings, at a theater, or during worshiping services. A limitation of the survey is that the Pew Center did not really define what was meant by using a cell phone. Some might have been offended by texting, while others might have been offended by actually carrying on a conversation. So what do you think regarding technological etiquette? Let's stop here for now so you can watch the video I posted on Blackboard. It's about how information and communication technology impacts etiquette. I'm wondering what you think about the suggestions that are provided, and I'd like you to share your thoughts.